name's Conan and welcome back to Conan Exiles. Today we'll be learning about the Purge. So let's start by going over the Purge levels, as there are 10 different levels in the game. So for level 2 it's going to take 1,000, for level 3 it's going to take 5,000, for level 4 it's going to take 10k, and for level 5 it will take 20k. For level 6 it will take 30,000, for level 7 it will take 40,000, for level 8 it will take 50,000, and for level 9 it will take 70,000. And the big level 10 takes 100k coffer value, so that kind of looks like this. So it's very expensive for level 10, but do remember with this purge that you can start it whenever you like at no cost. It will cost you absolutely nothing to proclaim your wealth, which is the start purge button, and you can do it as many times as you like whenever you like and all that good stuff. One thing I seriously do want to go over though is terrain and where you put your base. So whether it be the Isle of Sipta or Exiled Lands, do bear in mind wherever you build your purge base determines where you can get purged. So let me give you an example. Let's say I like this really steep pillar to build on, I build my base on it and I try and get purged on this spot. Well, it won't happen because there is not a direct path that the purge can get to my coffer at, so I would never be able to get purged like this. And you need to bear in mind difficult terrain can also be really bad for the purge. It's really finicky on where it wants to go, because it basically will print out a ginormous circle camp for the purge to spawn out of. You need to make sure the area around you has a place that could actually happen in. So if I was building my base here, I imagine getting a purge would be really difficult, because if you lived here, a purge could only ever spawn in this back section here. And if it doesn't like the terrain, like let's say it tries to spawn here and it goes really sideways and lumpy, it could actually cancel out the purge midway through, because it might just fail because the pathing gets disrupted by the terrain. So ideally, if you want to purge, you would want to build your build somewhere flat with a lot of space, or make a separate purge building. And that's what exactly I did right here with my own design, which is a more compact build. The idea with this is there is a lot of doors, okay? The purge is attracted to doors. So basically when you do a building, if I was to block it off fully, my treasure coffer with foundations, and made no walkable route here to this room, purge won't work, okay? It has to have a route with doors, and the purge people are attracted to doors, okay? They really like doors. So the idea with this is you have a funnel at the beginning where you'll get the little minions to go down, and you could incorporate archers on these sides to shoot at them, or archers here with a nice little foundation or something. And then you have your brawlers down here. So I've got a bunch of brawlers. Highly recommend high level brawlers, okay? Don't skimp out on these guys. Give them a good armor value, give them a good mace or something, and make sure they are high level thralls, okay? Also make sure they have food in them for healing. The only reason I haven't used archers in this building myself yet is because I feel like I would need like a little bit for them to sit on that's high up, which they can't move from. One of the problems I've experienced so far with having archers on purge builds without the little archery spot that they get stuck at is that they move around and can fall down here and they will die, which makes them pretty much pointless. So when Conan Exiles implements the little archery tool that sticks them to a crenulated wall, I think that's the best time to involve them, because they work the best when you have one of those down. Either way, they come down this funnel chute and they will try and fight these. Hopefully for most of the waves, these guys should sort them out, and they should never really get past the first few doors. But if they do, I have a couple of paths for them to go, and in theory you don't have to do it this way. You could make it a big old spiral if you like, but I like including 2 routes for them to go, because it can confuse them and give a bit more time to yourself for them to figure out what's going on. So when I was first testing this out, I had people attacking both of these doors, and then they went down there and they spent even more time going for both of these doors. Or sometimes they could pick one route or the other. So basically every 2 foundations in here there is a door, and it is very narrow. Now you might get pinched in a build like this, and this is why it is only 1 level up. So if you do get in a pinch, you're able to do this you know, you go up, you go on the walls, and you are safe and you can heal. So you can bounce over there, and it doesn't take much bounce to get over the top. You see, it takes me one space bar push and I'm up the top. So that's the idea with that. So basically they go all the way around here and they reach this back area where I've got a couple more guards. They go through here and then they have to pick this way or that way. So they go all the way through this area now and come back around the front. Now before this I left like a little pathway around the middle bit, but I've made it more compact now so it is less expensive. So it will work the same. They'll go through all these doors, and the more doors the better really, because it is time blockers to stop those demolishers coming and demolishing the doors, because really they can tap those doors really fast and they die in like 5 hits if they're tier 3. But the theory is if you have a lot of blockades, then it's going to take them at least a while to get through. If you get in a sticky situation where you die or your thralls die or something, you need a bit of time, that is your buffer basically, because as soon as they get in here, they will start bashing down everything and it will be an expensive loss, let's just put it that way. So now we got that out the way, you know about the amounts, you know about this design and stuff, we can have a little go at it. Now the one thing I would say about the Purge since test life is it has gone up in difficulty by a lot. So if you try tier 10 straight away, you might be in for an unpleasant surprise, especially as a solo. Maybe not so much as a clan mate, but as a solo, yes, it is pretty tricky to do level 10 right now. Anyways, without further ado, we're going to start a Purge and get it going. So we're going to proclaim the wealth. I'm doing a level 2 just for example here, with some of the gold I have in my coffer. So now we've done that, what the Purge is going to do is it's going to find a place to put their camp. I'm just going to float up here and have a look where it's going to put it. Maybe it'll give you a good idea on like how big of an area they really need. Because I believe the camp is probably actually the same size as my own structure right here. And there it goes. Yes, it is. Actually, I think it might be a little bit bigger than the structure I have put down, minus the chute. It's absolutely huge, okay? It gives you a good example. So basically, these guys are going to spawn in here, and then come out of here, and then go to my chute. So let's get back into survival mode to check this out. Now we're in survival. Here they come. We got a mixture of people, and the most important ones to remember will be the demolishers. So demolishers will not fight you. They are big, and they will just try and get to your front door. Now, if they get to the door, they will start smashing immediately, and you want to get rid of them right away. That is your top priority, because it will only take demolishers about 5 hits to go through a tier 3 door. That's why you have so many buffers, just in case something bad happens and you cannot protect those doors anymore. They might go through for you while you're trying to get your stuff back and stuff like that. Another thing to know about purges, especially the higher tier purges, is to know what you kind of get, and I'm going to give you a quick kind of rundown of what you'll see out of higher level purges and what to be wary of. So these guys right here are Stygian soldiers, and they are probably the worst of the lot, I would definitely say, because they are very healthy, they have a lot of armor, and they also have this horrible combination to pinch you with. They have spears, they have a sword and a shield, and they have a hammer. If you get all 3 of that on you, which you most likely will, they are going to stagger you like crazy. Our next one are the headhunters, and these guys are pretty mid, so they're alright. The nice thing about them is they actually sabotage themselves as they throw firebombs, and those can actually hurt their own people and their own demolishers, so it could actually help you. But I prefer these guys over the other ones because, one, if they're throwing firebombs, they're not piking you or hammering you, so you have a bit more of a chance to go for them, and they're a bit less of a pest than the previous. Here we go. Oh, this is a good example right here. So this, what's going on right now is a prisoner rush, and I almost like to call them like your relief squad because they are really easy to get rid of. You do get a lot of them, but you can go through them really easily because they're so weak and they have such weak weapons. You can also get things like Lemurians as well, and lower tier relic hunters that come for you as well, but those are more mid tier as well. Just be careful of the ones mentioned so far. Now, throughout a purge, once you've completed enough waves and all that, you'll get a pop-up saying a Stygian commander challenges you. Now, what I recommend when you get this going is maybe grab one of your front thralls if they're still alive, and And or maybe just have one on the side that is on defend me, otherwise you get constant backlash from these guys, because unfortunately when you do get challenged, they still keep covered for you no matter what. So sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to accept the challenge by getting over there. You could do it yourself, but I don't recommend it. I recommend bringing a Thrall over, because often or not they're just going to keep coming out. You might need a little bit of a distraction or something, or someone to deal with them, whilst you try and take on the actual Hand of War, which is the Challenger. So this guy can help us out. He's going for it. He's having a bit of a time. Maybe we can get the Hand of War on his own and defeat him. And that's kind of like the idea with it, if you can do that and he distracts the others. Actually, you can kind of see what he's doing right now. He's doing exactly that, which means once this guy dies, everybody stops spawning, and that's wonderful. There we go. Victory! Those guys are going to stop spawning, and they can just clean out the rest of them. And you want to make sure you take the keys from this guy, because he's going to help you unlock the pens. So there we go. They're all done with, and these guys are putting their hands up in the air like they just don't care. You can now come into here and unlock this chest with your key. Get a bunch of goodies and recipes as well. Components of advanced warfare, bundles of tools and materials. Cool. You can get recipes for armor, recipes for some of the new war recipes like the cauldron and stuff in here, and all sorts. And then this unlocked one that you can get any time as well is in there. So those are your two main loot sources. Do bear in mind the higher level purge you do, the better the resources will be. So just bear that in mind completely, and you can get a lot of cool recipes and treasures through here. Also, you can get big treasures that appear on this little pad right here, although it doesn't always seem to be very common that these happen. Now the keys, they do unlock this box, but they also unlock these, which can give you Thrall replacements. So if you had a very hard purge, they could help replace some of your Thralls. And here's actually a really good example. I just got a tier 4 bearer out of this box. Some of these Thralls can be really decent. You can also get a trader as well, which I'm going to go and get one, and you can have a look at it. So I just completed a level 10. I killed the commander. Do remember a difference of level can also difference of keys. So he gave me 7 keys for this one. Now let's have a little look at what we got in this one. So as you can see, level 10 gives a lot nicer loot. As you can see, there's a lot of nice loot pieces in there, even some war paint, nice wraps to help well, re-establish you a bit. You've got some unique items in there too. You've got better versions of the Stygian Vanguard items, supply materials, sorcery materials, golem materials, and even some legendary weapons can spawn in here. So definitely worth having a look. Now, I have enough keys to open all these cages. Hopefully we're going to get the trader. That's what we're looking for. We're going to open these all up. I actually do see the trader in there. Beautiful. He's very recognizable because he wears Silent Legion. There we go. Oh, we have another really good bearer by the looks of it. Anzil, the carrier. Leonelli's, 2 of them. We also have a Leon. We have a Relic Hunter, Treasure Seeker, and the trader. So you can see the Thralls that you get from a level 10 are really nice. Okay, really nice. Now let's have a look at our sellsword man. So you can trade him for stuff. One of the things he gives is mercenary banners. So if you get in a sticky situation in your purge, you can buy these and place them down whenever, and it will spawn mercenaries to your hand, and you'll be able to use them. Another thing it does is you can buy things like explosives and traps to help you with the actual siege itself. So for 10k coins, you could get a nice crate of explosive jars or the siege boulders, 1,000 for 30 siege boulders, 3,000 for 30 ironstone siege boulders, 50k for 30 demon fire barrages, 25k for 50 exploding traps, and then we have our I guess kind of cheaper options. 100 arrows for 2k coins, 100 explosive arrows for 10k coins, which I think is probably quite a nice deal actually. And then you have the aloe and healing wraps for 50, 50 here, and 100 for the bottom one. So there you go. Honestly though, with these bottom ones, I'll probably make them yourself because it's going to be way cheaper than buying them. But I guess if you're in a really sticky situation and you just have gold, then those are there for you. And your main interest will probably be exploding arrows and crates. And maybe if you found this one a bit hard, the mercenaries, because they are quite strong. they can definitely help you out. But that is one of the main features of this, as well as that is the treasure and definitely the thralls. So one thing I do want to let you know with the level 10 purge, all those thralls I had over in 1,000 armor, 20 levels, berserkers, you know, all of them died like within the first 2 waves. So level 10's really brutal. Like I was saying, it will go through your thralls like cheese wire. They will die really fast, and yeah, you almost kind of need the thralls, because if you don't have them and you're a solo player, I don't know about if you were just in a group, you'd probably do better with more players, if I'm honest with you, which is why I suggest things like maybe having a group of people helping you with a purge or something, maybe making an activity on a server or something fun like that. But the reason I say for solo it sucks is because if you don't have thralls, you get loads of thralls and they can pinch you into corners of your base, or just in general pinch you out on the pitch. As there'll be so many surrounding you, and the combination of spear, hammer and shield with a sword is very brutal, because, well, they're going to stagger you like hell. It's going to be very hard to get out of it unless you've got a shield and wait for an opportune moment to hop a wall, like people were seeing in my stream the other day. Very brutal. But yes, that's kind of how it goes. And I suppose, at least with the level 10 right now, with all these really, really nice thrall drops, you can replenish some of your people, although you do start at level 0 with these. So, of course, you have to level them up, which is a huge pain in the bum, which I guess then is for you to decide whether that is worth it or not. Or maybe it is worth doing lower levels and getting just as good loot, but maybe a little bit less. Another thing to consider as well is they have said the more thralls you have, and the more people participating in it, the harder it will get. So definitely keep that in mind, and yeah, I definitely recommend going slowly up through the tiers. The only other thing I can think of is if they do get into your treasure room, which can happen, and they start blasting, is definitely try and get rid of those demolishers, as they will break building parts like nobody's business. As soon as they've seen the coffer and visited it, they will just smash anything in the area. And the normal thralls will try and steal the stuff. So try and get rid of those demolishers, or you could get it to a point where they demolish the floor, and if they do that and cut off their way in, they will stop spawning and the purge will break itself, meaning they will not steal anything more than what they already have in their hands, or send anybody else to steal things. Because if they lose their routing to the actual treasure coffer, and you let them break the floor, then that can be really helpful for stopping a full robbery of your stuff. That's just one thing to bear in mind. Also, another thing to think about is, yeah, you cannot rebuild stuff when the purge is going anymore. There's also no purge settings, so the purge how it is now is how it is. You cannot change that, and it's just a triggerable activity. You can do anything for. Yeah, I hope this video helped you out and informed you more about how to handle the purge. If you have any questions in the comments down below, feel free to fire them at me, and I will try and answer them the best that I can. Either way, thanks for watching, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!